So what was your first job in the industry? Not your first job ever, because mine was picking tomatoes or picking corn. One of those two. It was a field labor job. My parents threw me out of the house. In fact, I was corn detasseling when I think probably started when I was 11 or 12 years old. Big thing where I came from. Do you know what corn detasseling is? You're probably saying, what the hell are you saying? Corn detasseling. Corn has a tassel. Put it another way, men corn stalks have tassels. I'll let you assume what that tassel is for, and you would be right. And the purpose of detasseling is you literally walk down the field. You're wearing a garbage bag because you start at 6 or 7 in the morning. Corn stalks are 6 feet tall. All the leaves are full of dew. They're sharp. So you wear the garbage bag so you don't get totally soaked, and it kind of deflects some of the paper cut-like accidents that are prone to happen in that job. And you walk along this 1, 2, 3, 10-acre row of corn, and you pull out the stalks. That was my first job. I don't know why I brought that up. I just got on a tangent. Yeah, I do this sometimes. I'm shiny object squirrel boy. So just so you know. I know, I'm sorry. But my first job in sales, beyond being the door-to-door photocopier salesperson that I've said 1,000 times, and you can probably say it for me. Shut up, Prail. We know what you did. What I considered my first real serious, like B2B type sales job was I was a sales engineer. Now, many of you are probably going, what's a sales engineer? And what you're doing is you're showing your age. So let me explain to you what a sales engineer is. There was a time not too long ago, Billy and Sally, when software, for example, was not sold by subscription, when it was sold on premise. And people would have to have a computer dedicated on their facilities. They would have to buy a powerful computer, and we would give them floppy diskettes or CDs or DVDs, and they would install it, and it would run right there within their own 4 walls. And because of that, you had technical due diligence like you wouldn't believe, and it was a process. And because it wasn't a SaaS-based model, everybody wanted to customize it just a little bit differently. And that, my friends, is the role of the sales engineer. The sales rep, the account executive, would go and have the luncheons, the face-to-face. They would drink the beer, they would laugh, they would guffaw, and they would say, what do you need to do? Well, I need to know that it can interface with my AS400 and can print out work orders in a multi-part carbon-based form. And my guys on the shop floor need to be able to use it, as well as the girls in the office. Now, yes, I'm using sexist terms, but that was the era. And so the sales engineer would go and take the software and go on the box, the custom box, and they would go and configure it all, and they would hook it up to the AS400, and they would show it working, and they would make it dumbed down, stupid as simple for the guys on the floor. And they would also make sure that the screens look exactly the way the ladies in the office wanted it to look like, because the ladies in the office looked at it one way, they had their forms, and the guys on the floor looked at it another way. And I had to show it all work together, and that's what I did. The sales engineer went in and custom crafted a very personalized solution and showed it worked. The sales engineer also was the one who did all the song and dance on the demonstrations. So the account executive would say, yeah, Billy, we can do that. Backslap. Darryl, show them how we do that. See, the account executive in those days, they did jack shit. All they did was backslap. They had an expense account. It really was madman. And I'm not making this up. And the sales engineer would be like, sure, let me give you a demo. And I would do a rudimentary version of PowerPoint or some kind of binder-based slideshow. And then I would go into the product. I would point and click, or one in those days, often it was green screen. And I would do the demo. Now, here's the thing. How old was I at the time? I might have been 23, 24 at the time. And I got this 40, 45-year-old guy backslapping the prospect and looking to the 24-year-old to do a kick-ass demo. That guy who's going to bring home the fat-ass commission check put all of his eggs in my basket, and 9 times out of 10 gave me zero coaching. Didn't tell me what the prospect talked about with him over drinks. Didn't give me any guidance whatsoever. My job was to give a killer demo. A killer demo that would get us to the next step where I could mock it up and show them how it worked. And that's where the process went. And at the end of the day, the commission went to the sales guy. I got bupkis. I had a salary, and that's all I got. I put in the overtime. They didn't. I did demos. I was the guy. That's a sales engineer. Today's very different, right? Today, you are the sales engineer. Today, you're the one doing the qualification and the discovery. Today, you're the one doing the negotiation. You're setting the landmines. You're not going drinking. You're not backslapping. It's changed dramatically. It's changed for the better. But you know the one area that hasn't changed? The one area that I see screwed up over and over and over again, and I'm speaking as a buyer now, not as that young sales engineer, that the people doing the demos don't have a clue what they're doing. They're not following their own advice. They're not listening to the prospect. They're not setting the traps. They're doing the demo wrong. Now, in this show, we talk all the time about how to do better discovery, how to have a better playbook, how to handle those objections, how to set value, how to be authentic, how to do messaging, how to do social selling, how to write an email that gets opened up. We talk about all those tactics. But you know what we've never talked about? We have never talked about how to do a demo. So I'm done yelling at you. I'm off my soapbox. I apologize about that. I got a little carried away. How do we solve this problem? Well, the answer, my friends, is so damn simple. You just reached out to Sam Dunning. Who's Sam? If you don't know Sam, of course you know Sam. Sam was in the recent UK-USA debate. Therefore, you know already he's a top dog. He's a main guy. He's a big player. He comes from Team UK. That explains the accent. I have a Canadian one. He's got a British one. Well, so we can both say Z today if we want to, but he will say aluminium and I'll say aluminum. So it's just a confusing world. He is the co-founder and sales director from WebChoice. So what's WebChoice? Well, I love this. WebChoice is all about helping businesses skyrocket their leads, sales, and brand positioning. They do it with SEO. They do it with digital marketing, and they're all about the conversion. And what gets more conversions than a demo? Sam, welcome to the show.
Hey, Darryl, thanks for having me on, man. Absolute pleasure, and excited to get stuck in and start talking about demos and the process to follow, and hopefully share some gold nuggets for everyone tuning in on just ways that they can sharpen up the process, really.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Now, while we're doing this, okay, if you're at your desk, go follow him on LinkedIn and all the usual places because he's really, really cool cat. And if you wanted to check out more about him, go watch the debate. He was killer. But today we're talking about demos, Sam. So I know when we were talking about you on the show and what can we do, and you were the one who actually approached me about the demo, and my reaction was like, whoa, that idea. That's what we got to do. Why? I got to ask, why did you bring that idea up?
Well, I gave you a few ideas. I wanted to, firstly, I pinged you a few ideas across. I wanted to do something fresh. So I said demos. I think I gave some ideas on inbound leads, LinkedIn. You said, look, that's been done a bit. Let's go for the demo approach, which is cool by me. So I thought I'd just, tap into a few tips that maybe people have not thought over, or tap into the process that I like to follow with demos. And another quick angle before we get down a rabbit hole, I know a lot of guys, especially in the digital space, I was guilty of this for some heftier, bigger projects that they're trying to land. Doesn't matter if you sell CRM software, digital software, whatever it may be in inside sales. A lot of us are guilty of sending a quote document or proposal document and hoping for the best. Whereas presentations and demos are so good because you're having a one-to-one conversation with your prospect. So I want to encourage you to start doing demos for projects. But that all comes down to proper qualification and proper discovery calls. So perhaps when you're ready, Darryl, we can kind of jump into how to do the process and the actual steps you should take in order to do successful demos and presentations.
So Sam's got a 5-step process. We're going to work through it. And but you know how this goes, guys, right? We spend the first, majority of the show in the first, second, or third step at a time, and then we hurry the next 2 or 3 points. We'll probably do that again today, and apologize in advance. One more thing before we start. If you're listening to me on a podcast app, okay, Spotify, Pocket Cast, whatever it might be, multitask. You need to go and do a search on your podcast subscriptions. It's called Sam's Business Growth Show, okay? Look it up. It's a killer show. I've been on it. Jeb Blunt's been on it. Daniel Disney's been on it. In other words, with the exception of me, these are really good people. Go listen to the show. That's Sam's show. You're going to love it. If you like this show, you will like that show. Okay, you've got a 5-step process. You're going to walk us through it. You're going to tell us why we should do it. You're going to tell us what we're doing wrong. What is step number 1 to making sure we have a killer demo?
Awesome. So We're going pre-presentation, pre-demo first. So we're talking about discovery call. So discovery call pretty much makes your demo or your presentation, because if you haven't nailed down your prospects' pain points, their goals and objectives, so that their desired outcomes, where they want to get to. So if with your product they want to get to X amount of turnover per month or X amount of revenue per year, you need to know that. You need to know exactly who the decision makers are. So if you're speaking to the sales manager or the sales director, then you need to know who else is going to be involved in this process. So let's pretend you've already established this. You've had a great discovery call. You've nailed down their pains, their time frames, when they want to do this, when they want to start implementation. You know their budget. That's all been agreed. So you're going to email across the agenda to all the DMs that are involved in the meeting. So what I found is pretty good. Is just to say, look, here's a recap of the agenda we agreed on in our discovery call. We're going to go through your goals and objectives. We're going to go for our recommended solution. We're going to talk about the timeframes of implementations, and then we're going to talk about next steps, all in this demo, and make sure they accept that invite. So that's the first step, Darryl. I set down, make sure everyone's on the same page, make sure you've got an agreed agenda pre-demo before you get stuck into it.
All right, so let me explain. There's a lot of nuances in what he said. You're listening to that. I know what you're doing here, guys, because I'm guilty of it too. And you're going, yeah, well, of course you're going to do that. Of course I'm going to do that. Okay, let me back up the horse. For those of you who still have a horse. The vast majority of you never send an agenda. I'm speaking as a buyer. I cannot remember the last time I ever got an agenda. So if you send an agenda, I'm going to love you like you can't imagine. You're already going to be vastly different than anybody else. The agenda needs to be 3, 4, 5 bullets. That's it. Short, sweet, simple. But it sets my expectations. If you want to put time around it too, the first 5 minutes is this, next 10 minutes is that, bing, bing, boom, I'll love you. Because what that says to me is you're optimizing my time. What it also does is you are managing me now. You're saying, this is what I need to accomplish during our meeting. So are you prepared? This is the time allowance. This is what we're going to cover. So then when you actually get to the call, and I don't want to jump ahead, and I'm not sure what he's going to say, but you could say, I'm just recapping. Your time is still good. This agenda is still good. Like, you're going to confirm it. I'm going to say yes. You're getting me to say yes, yes, yes. Like, you're sucking me into the process. But if I don't like the agenda before the call ever happens, I can say, I hear what you want to do, but I don't have time for this, or you missed something. And my goodness, do you want to know if you missed something? Because if it's important to me, it damn well better be important to you. So that agenda alone is over the top brilliant, and it's so stupid ass easy, and too many of you aren't doing. So that's the first thing. The other thing I loved about it was he said was the discovery was all done. Discovery is all done. Okay, let's back the horse up again. How many of you have got an inquiry or you got a nibble, and the first thing you do is you say, okay, great, let's do a demo. Let's just do a demo. In other words, you just jump in and you start throwing crap against the wall. I have feature A, feature B, feature C. Isn't this cool? Bing, bang, boom. I don't care about seeing every stupid ass feature you have in your offering. I got pains, and if you can fix my pains, I care about seeing that. So the discovery process done properly does two things. It sets my expectations of what I'm going to see. I'm going to see that you have a solution to my pain. And it also tells you what I want to see, so you don't waste cycles and time, that you can focus on other things. All of that is in step 1, and he hasn't shown a thing. With that, Sam, we're at the 14-minute mark, give or take. And this is when we go to a commercial normally. Some of you know I don't do that often because I get a little talkative, as do the guests occasionally. And I think in this one, I've done more talking than Sam. So I'm going to shut up now, and we're going to commercial break. We'll be right back. Okay, Sam, we're back. I've done all that. I've done the agenda. We finalized it. We did the discovery. We know all that fantastic stuff. It's D-Day. It's demo day. Here I am. What's step number 2, lad?
Let's do it. So just one thing to add on that agenda that you email, one thing I like to do is just put a little PS. So if you said, John, here's the agenda, point 1, 2, 3, 4. PS, if you think I've forgotten anything, or if anyone needs to be added to this meeting, or you want anything to be included in my demo that we've not yet covered, ping me a message before, John. I don't want to miss it. Let me know. Just in case, because the amount of times that people have come back and said, yeah, I forgot to mention this in our discovery call. Can you add this in? So you don't get presenting your solution or your demo, and halfway through they're like, you've missed this, and then you can't close the deal because you've missed something big out. Okay, so we've nailed down the agenda. We've got the stage 2, so you've actually got your demo there, your inside sales. You're probably doing a video call, Zoom, Skype, whatever. Start of the call, actually build first things first. You want to build some rapport. One thing that I sometimes do is, if I've not actually spoken to the person on a video call, I might say, look, just a simple one. Whereabouts in the world are you today? Just to build up a bit of rapport, talk about where they're from, name some common ground. Doesn't have to be too much, doesn't have to be go on too long, keep it short and snappy. Once you've done that, confirm that everyone you agreed that was going to be on the call is going to be on the call. So if you had your discovery call with the sales manager, and you agreed that the other people involved in the decision are the sales director and the CEO of the company, let's say, for example, you say, John, I remember in our last call, we agreed that your director of sales and your CEO, Fred and Bill, are going to be joining us today. Fred and Bill, are you there? If John says, look, Fred couldn't actually make it, Sam, you say, wait, John, we agreed that these guys needed to be on this call to make this decision today. If they're not going to be on this call, can they come in? I can wait 5 minutes. And if he says, look, they're out of the office, you say right now, I'm going to have to reschedule this meeting. Don't try and pitch to people that can't make decisions. It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of their time. So that's the first thing. If everyone is on the call, carry on. You don't need to reschedule it. Go through a recap of the agenda. So look, agree on the time frame you're going to spend. So you say, look, guys, we're going to spend 30 minutes today going through everything. Is that still okay? Yes, carry on. We agreed that we're going to go through your goals, your recommended solution, timeframes, budget for implementation, and then we're going to spend some time, if it makes sense, talking about next steps. But if at any stage you feel that this is not a project that you guys want to look at, absolutely fine. Let me know. Are you okay telling me no? Make sure they say yes. However, if you're happy with the solution, are you okay telling me yes? Carry on. Okay, so that's step 2. Essentially going through everything and making sure everyone's on the same page and the DMs are all there.
So I want to focus on one little thing. And you made a reference to this. I'm going to just kind of repeat it in different words. One of the things I really value when we're at this stage, but really it's something you can do at every step of the way, is that you heard Sam say, kind of repeat the understanding of the purpose of the meeting, repeat the knowledge you've previously gleaned. Right. So in this case, the demo might have been, okay, so I heard you say we've got, 30 minutes to cover these 4 things with these people. And you told me previously in our discovery process that, issues A, B, C, D were really important to you. Is that correct? When you repeat back to me what we've already talked about, I love you. I give you a kiss. I will shake your hand and high five you. And there's so many reasons why. 1, I know you're paying attention. 2, I don't feel like a transaction because I'm different than everybody else. 3, I feel like you're actually focused on me and my issue. 4, I don't have to worry that multiple times through this meeting, I'm going to have to say to you, and this happens to me a lot, kids, we talked about this already. We talked about that in the last call. Why are you asking me this again? So just repeating the understanding builds goodwill, builds trust, builds relationship, makes you look like a pro. That's massive. It's all about optics. All right, step 3. We haven't even started the demo yet.
Cool.
We're just getting ready to do the demo.
Let's do it, man. So we're going into the demo. This is the part where you can finally spill the features and benefits of your wonderful product. If you offer CRM, if you offer digital marketing, whatever your inside sales product is, you can start explaining the wonderful features, but make sure it's tailored. Make sure your presentation or your demo is only showcasing the features that are relevant to the pain points or the goals that your customer wants to get to that you established during discovery. So start going through these. So start kind of tailoring, talking about the features, why they're relevant, how they're going to solve the issues. Another great thing to do is kind of talk about bringing up issues before they get arisen. So, for example, if you offer CRM software and you know that quite a common concern is that it won't link into email, so let's say into Gmail, you can say you may be thinking that you may have to manually input all this data from the leads that you get inbound into this CRM. Well, this actually little snippet fits straight into your Gmail, your Outlook. So in one click, you can export the information. So kind of cover common objections. What I like to do is list 3 or 4 common objections that you get whilst you're presenting. Make sure you have a note of those and address those objections before they're risen. Once you've gone through once you've gone through some major features, another great thing to do is say, ask questions. So I learned this from Sandler training, actually. Once you've gone through a big feature, say, okay, we've covered quite a lot here. Usually there's a few questions now. What are yours? Because people don't like to be confronted, Darryl. If you say, what questions have you got here? Rather, you say, ask questions. It's a nice way of saying, basically, let me know what's concerning you, let me know what's on your mind. And they might say, oh, I didn't quite understand feature A, or I didn't quite understand feature B. Once you've gone through a big block of features, then say, are you comfortable, John, with how we're going to attack this issue with this product? If they say yes, you say, John, are you 100% comfortable with how we're going to attack this issue with this product? And if they say yes, you carry on to the next section of your demo. If they say no, you say, well, what part of this aren't you comfortable with? And then just shut up. They should explain to you the exact issue that you didn't cover with a feature. Then you can show them exactly what they need to see, get that established, and then you can carry on with the rest of the demo. And that's pretty much the next step up until step 4.
Okay, so let's tear this apart because there's so much about this I love. I'm going to start from the end and work back to the beginning. When you were doing the old, are you comfortable with this? I've historically used the expression, I'd be curious if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea. I'll say, does that make sense? Now, because you run the risk that it maybe doesn't make sense if they say, no, they don't want to look like a moron. I recognize that. But yeah, it's just like, does that make sense? Well, I'm not clear on that. Great. What is it you're not clear on? Maybe I didn't do it right. Let me show you again. Where are you getting hung up on? What Sam is really doing at every step of the way there, it's really subtle. He's getting buy-in. Not only is he getting buy-in, he's doing a deep dive on discovery. He's already done the discovery, which was precursor to this demo, but now he's doing more discovery. And now there's probably more people in the room because you're at the demo stage. So you're uncovering a couple of things. Not only are you uncovering more information that you may need to respond to, there are also more objections. There are also more opportunities if your solution can really handle that situation well. You're also uncovering people's biases or people's inclinations. So if all of a sudden there's a techie guy in the room that was never in the room before, and they're like, well, it's not secure. Okay, you never even talked about security, but here's security. Okay, well, that's great. You need to know that because you need to be better than the competition. So, and if they say, no, it's great. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's buy-in. Do you think this will solve the problem? Yes, I do. They are talking themselves into the deal. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. The beginning of that step where he talked about you're gonna tailor it. He said, now for my American friends, that's the same as saying customize it. All right. You're going to customize it based on the discovery. So the biggest mistake I see is everybody, I said this already, they just demo everything with no rhyme or reason. You've got a script. You start here. I log in. I start at the dashboard. Ding, 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 ding. And this is what I do. And I show every feature and Bob's your uncle. When instead, best practices say, okay, I'm going to show you how we solve those 5 points. And then if you're still interested and we still have time, I'll show you more features in the product if you're so inclined. But today, just today, in this first demo, I just want to hit those talking points. Me as a buyer, I give you a second kiss because you're respecting my calendar again. And that's really all I want to see right now. So if I can see that, you go check, 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 check. Then, hey, let's have a follow-on demo with a few more people on my team where you can go down and drill down and go deep. But now the beauty for you is I've passed you off to my team. So you are anointed by me. I really wanted to call that. I love that. Okay, moving on. Of course, we're getting tight on time. I told you we would. 2 more steps to go. What's step 4? I think this is my favorite, my favorite step here, but you can probably tell because I talk a lot. What's step 4, Sam?
Yes, sir. So just before we go, that you covered a good ground. It's basically getting buy-in at each stage, keeping your solution, your demo, your presentation short and snappy and to the point, because people like to say are getting lower and lower attention span. So make sure the features you're showing are only relevant to the pains they discussed. Otherwise, it's a snore fest. It's a snooze fest. Right. Next point is weave stories into your demo, your presentation, which is something I'm working on more and more. And something you could all do. There's plenty of books, plenty of podcasts where you can learn about this stuff. Anyway, in my world, a common objection in the digital marketing space is, Sam, it all looks good, but we've been burnt before, man. Our last digital marketing supplier really took us for a ride. They're an absolute cowboy. They're billing us thousands per month, and we got no real tangible results. So I say, look, John, I understand there's a lot of cowboys out there. Can I tell you a story? The chances are they'll say yes, because everyone wants to hear a story. And so my story in this sense, you can weave this into your own sense, is, look, I used to always buy Ford cars. I used to buy them for years and years. Now, a couple of years ago, I got a Ford car, secondhand. I was still quite new in sales, so I wasn't earning that much. But anyway, I picked up this nice, shiny, silver new Ford car, a few £1,000s, took it out for a spin. The first couple of months, it was great. But a few months in, started getting issues with the engine. So took it to the garage. Cost me a few hundred. They fixed it. I was happy. Another month later, it started squeaking again. Took it to the garage, and it was another couple hundred. So I was like, this is getting a bit annoying, but we'll carry on. The third time, I thought that was it. I went to my mechanic. I said, look, man, I've had terrible issues with this car. I can't take it back because it was pre-owned. What do you suggest? He said, look, my wife's had this great car, Hyundai. And also, we had this old lady that came into the garage recently. She actually broke down just outside the garage. It's got a 4-year warranty, man. And they came within half an hour. She called them. They fixed it up straight away. I was like, he said, it's a little runaround car. I said, that sounds just the ticket, man. Went to the garage. So I had the social proof because he recommended 2 people. Went straight to the garage. Sales guy gave me a demo and I bought it straight away. The point of the story is that even though I kept getting issues with my previous car, I still need to get a car because I need to get from A to B all the time. The point is, do your due diligence. So in this case, I had social proof. I did my due diligence at the garage. So do due diligence on the company and make sure you're making a sensible decision. So weave stories into ways that you can get your buyer engaged, get them kind of on the same level as you, and make a point. So in this case, it is do your due diligence, make sure you're actually working with reputable companies for your product.
Okay, so how many people were listening to him right there, and you were like me, and you were like just listening? You wanted to hear what was going to happen. Was he going to buy it? Was he not going to buy it? And how he's going to tie it back to this opportunity. That's the power of storytelling. It's relationship building. Okay, we're down to our last minute, big guy. What's the last step?
Okay, you need to close the deal, basically. So from what we've gone through so far, you're getting buy-in at each stage. You're saying, look, after each major feature, does this make sense? Then hopefully saying yes. If not, you're showing them something, and then you're asking, does it make sense again? And you're clarifying, does it make sense fully, 100%? You're getting buy-in. So towards the end of the demo, again, a Sandler technique here, which I found really, really, really good. You say, look, John, on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not interested, 10 being you're ready to go ahead with our software solution, where would you say you are right now? So if they say a 10, you just say, John, what would you like to do now? The deal's done. They're going to say, yeah, let's go ahead, send over the paperwork. Or you can say, would you like me to send the paperwork? They're going to say yes because they said 10. If they say anything less than a 10, so if they 6, 7, you say, okay, John, tell me what you'd like to see to bring this up to a 10. And they might say, look, I didn't quite understand how you're going to implement the time frame. I don't quite understand how our team's going to get involved. I had an issue with this. Go back, show them exactly how you're going to address their issues. Once you've done that fully and clearly, ask them again and keep repeating that until they get to a 10 and you're ready to move forward. Alternatively, let's say in your presentation as a different type of close, you put together 2 or 3 solutions. So I always recommend doing one solution that was bang on the budget you agreed in discovery, then maybe 2 or 3 with slightly extra features just to give them a bit of flexibility if they want to bump up and upsell them a bit. So at the end of towards the end of your presentation, you just say, does it make sense to go with option 1, or would option 2 or 3 be a better fit? If they say option 2 makes sense, great, the deal's done. If they say, oh, I'm not sure, this was a bit of a concern, you say, what about this didn't make sense? Again, find out the exact issue, address that perfectly, and then ask the question again. That's pretty
5
much
steps.
it.
5 steps by the man himself, Sam Dunning, co-founder, sales director. He, my friends, is a rock star. His company is called webdesignchoice.co.uk. Web Choice, check them out. A digital rock star at that. He understands selling because he's a sales director, but he also understands the power of digital and all the tools and tactics it takes to actually get that lead and work it through the whole process. He's the man. He's also, as I mentioned already, the founder and host of Sam's Business Growth Show. If you like today's conversation, if you like his storytelling, you like his processes, then you're going to love the show. Sam, loved having you here. Everybody, guess what? I called it. I was right. We're out of time, but we're going to do it again 1 week from now. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.